It is said, never follow the life of an evolved person. Follow what they say, not what they do. However, this negates model behaviour theory. For example, don't listen to a marriage theorist if they have been divorced. Isn't the point to live what you are saying? So this is something that is often said when we are relating to a highly evolved person or even a self-realized soul. We're told, don't become preoccupied with their behaviour, with their mode of living, with the choices they make. Instead, follow their advice. But of course, the objection is, if you see someone acting in a particular way, doesn't that indicate whether or not they are to be followed? This idea of modelling behaviour. What we can understand is that a person's conduct reveals their values and their maturity. When you find someone who tells lies to others, we form an opinion about who and what they are, and naturally we lose trust. What's happening here is that our opinion is based upon what we conclude about their intention. The reason that we have a diminished opinion of someone that we see lying is because we think that that person is serving their own selfish interests, that they don't care about others. However, other intentions are possible. Take a simple example. Imagine someone says to you, an acquaintance, how are things with you and your partner? Now, the truth of the matter is that things at the moment are a little tense. There are some personal issues going on that are causing a sense of division, and actually you're sort of unhappy and beginning to question the relationship. And yet you say to this person, all good, things are great. Can you really be accused of being a liar at that point? You'd feel that you were being wrongly accused. What was your motivation when you lied? You weren't serving selfish interests. You weren't trying to deceive the person. You were protecting your own needs. You have a need for privacy. You're protecting your partner's privacy. You don't have their consent to be talking about the elements of your relationship with the world at large. So you were doing the right thing by telling a lie. Your motivation wasn't self-centered, it was your obligation in that moment. Just because somebody asks you a question doesn't mean you have to answer it. What does this show us? It shows us that the same action that we see on the surface can have different underlying intentions, different motivations. And some of those motivations might be aligned to moral values. They might be aligned to the person's conscience. The problem for us is that if we lack maturity, we can't even conceive of causes that can come from higher values. If a young child learned that that person had lied, they might have a very simplistic, unsophisticated understanding of don't tell lies. They can't conceive of a situation where it's appropriate to do so. When we're talking about our relationship with an evolved person, this is the position that we may be in. Because we are relatively less mature than that person spiritually, we may not have access to the worldview that makes their behavior appropriate for them. It's not appropriate for someone else who is less spiritually mature. You tell a child not to drink alcohol. That's an appropriate boundary because they don't have the maturity to process the experience. An adult does. So it seems like there's a mismatch between what they're saying and what they're doing. But that mismatch only occurs because we lack the mature vision to understand and reconcile it. So that's why it said, don't become preoccupied with an evolved person's behavior. The second element of the question was saying, simply follow what they say. Question this. Listen to what they say. Have humility to be receptive to what they are presenting. Understand that I could be wrong. What can I learn? If that individual has earned your trust, then you may step into the unknown and follow their advice, follow their guidance, even when you don't understand it. You may follow advice that seems to be contrary to the choices that they are making. But if you have this understanding, then that can reconcile it. I'm in the position of less maturity, and so I'm being guided for what is right for me. The person who is guiding me is in a state of higher maturity. They make choices that are right for them. This is the basic idea. So be open to hearing everything. But that openness must be protected by your rational questioning. Your intellect must lead critical thinking. What you then follow is not simply what another person says. What you're following is the inner consensus that you have of intellect, mind, and body. Your intellect leads. So with critical thinking, you have understood the choice in front of you. You've understood why it's beneficial. What's the mind's participation? The mind's participation is that it feels what the intellect understands. It feels that this is appropriate. And this can be the case even if it doesn't like it. Simple example. You have a beloved pet, 14 years old. Eyesight is failing, digestion is failing, it's in physical pain, it's confused. Your intellect tells you it might be time to put the pet to sleep. Your mind says, no, I don't want to do it. Your mind rebels. At the same time, your mind may feel it's the right thing to do. So this is why the intellect is so important. It can recognize that both of these emotions coexist, that seem to be in opposition to each other, and it can reconcile them. It's okay to feel a sense of loss. It's also okay to feel that it's appropriate to put the pet to sleep. So there is alignment between what the intellect understands and what the mind feels. And finally, there's a gut check, you might say. How does your body feel about it? Do you feel ready to make that choice? Are you frozen? Can you not bear to pick up the phone? Or do you feel a sense of readiness to act? So when we have this alignment, then that's what you follow. So the advice may have come from a self-realized soul. And if that person has earned your trust and your surrender, then you may follow it even when you don't understand it, even when you don't like it.